Good morning, greetings, namaskar, dear Dhamma friends, and welcome to the Dependent Origination presentation. My name is Susanna Fajczak Simon, and I am presenting on behalf of Group 2 of the Advanced course for you today. Thank you so much, my fellow meditators, Dhamma friends in Group 2 and VRI, for giving me the opportunity to strengthen my paramitas with this project and practice strengthening my virya, my effort. So, let me get myself out of the way and show you the presentation enlarge. So, dependent origination. So we all want to know if we had a past or not, what or how we were, and what did we become. If one realizes the law of dependent origination, then it's impossible to ask the previous questions, and one becomes fully aware at the experiential level about the entire process, then finds the way of continuous and finds the way out of continuous rebirth. So Buddha said, he who sees dependent arising sees Dhamma. Buddha explaining the Four Noble Truths and how it works by the means of dependent origination. It is the foundation of Buddhism, and personally for me, this was one of the hardest subjects to get earlier. So, realizing fully what craving is and its cause, one can free up from past accumulations and not create new ones in the future, and one should lead a life of mindfulness, hence reach detachment. Avidya, ignorance, tanha, and craving are the two root causes of rebirth. And if you can conquer your uprooted cravings, your mind becomes serene and can achieve a state of no becoming at all. This is the state of nibbana, or freedom from suffering. So, to introduce the dependent origination, you're still looking for who you are. You have to understand that life is not an identity, it is a conditionality. It's a chain of existence, it's a cause and effect, which is governed by the law of cause and effect. It's action and reaction, and every effect actually becomes a cause. And if you would be looking for which one was earlier, the coconut or the coconut tree, or you want to know where the first cent pieces came from, you need to understand that the chain of existence goes on forever, uninterrupted and uncontrolled by any external force, and its beginning in the beginningless past, and it has 12 factors. So let us see one by one. So the first is ignorance or avidya. Ignorance or avidya is not knowing the truth of what is Dhamma, the Four Noble Truths, the five aggregates, and not knowing how to analyze an experience in life. What does it cause? Not knowing causes ignorance, akusala, unwholesome thoughts, communications, and body reactions, basically all moral defilements. The second step is where avidya or ignorance arises, formation. The sankhara comes as a next step. Once no more ignorant action, rebirth stops and the whole mass of suffering ceases. So let's take a look what is formation of sankhara. Is basically all wholesome and unwholesome, kusala and akusala actions, all physical, mental, verbal actions and reactions. And what does it cause? Basically, it causes your mind to stay unaware. So your mind goes into an autopilot. It prevents seeing one's actions in reality, drives further blind actions. It basically, the mind picks up one thing from the many, clings to the picked up thought, and it creates a deep-seated stuck anusaya, which determines our interest, and that will form our habitual tendencies and becomes our obsessions, so we remain directed by the subconscious mind. Once formation arises, consciousness vijnana arises. And what is vijnana? Is basically conscious engagement with the object, thinking about the object, and where the attention goes, object will arise. And what does it cause? It causes discriminative mode of awareness. It will cause that we choose certain object for conscious engagement, choose one particular thing at a time, and everything else will become fuzzy. So once consciousness arises, name and form, nama-rupa, will arise. And nama-rupa, that means that the focus object has two sides. Two sides will arise, one the physical side, the rupa, and the mental side. The rupa is basically the eyes can see certain forms, shapes, colors, the nose, the odors, sounds, taste, and feel and touch. And the mental side of it is that we create liking or dislikings towards them. We will create memory or perception and intention to and towards an object or away from an object, and a mansikar, attention to an object. And what does it lead to? It leads to conscious engagement or a mental imprint. So the nama of the rupa will manifest. So number 4, as nama rupa arise, give a rise to the 6 sense spheres, salayatana. Basically, engaging in nama rupa opens up these 6 sense doors: the eye door, the form, the ear door, the sound, the nose door, the smell, tongue door, the taste, the body door, the touch, the mind door, the thought. It's basically the mental image starts the entire 6 sense business. So once the 6 sense spheres are opened, contact or passa takes place. That means is a mental imprint will occur in the mind. For example, eye contact is equals to the eye itself, the organ, the object to see. For example, here is an ice cream, and the eye consciousness which recognizes this as an ice cream, so it will create an imprint in the mind. So once the contact takes place, is Vedana, the most important step takes place. Basically, the sixfold arises from the eye, the ear, the taste, the smell, the body, and the mind contact, and it will create something which is either pleasurable feeling, a painful feeling, or a neutral feeling. And it's interesting because it will depend on who you are with, when you are experiencing it, where you are experiencing it, with whom you are experiencing it or feeling it. For example, if you are very tired and someone wakes you up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., it will be a painful experience. But someone coming in, waking you up just in the moment you are about to wake up in the morning anyway, it will be a pleasant experience. You will mean it as a pleasant experience. So Buddha's a wonderful realization here that objective observation of the feelings, the Vedana, is the way out of the entire 12 steps. So we can actually stop the cycle here if we are objectively using objective observations of our feelings, either pleasurable, painful, or neutral feelings. So when feelings arise, craving or tanha takes place, and that means craving as a form of greed, thirst, desire, lust, burning, yearning, longing, inclination, affection, and household love. So craving is craving for sensual pleasures, pleasant sensations, continuing existing of the pleasant sensations, or non-existence, or getting rid of these unpleasant sensations. So this uninterrupted craving basically give rise to wrath, frustration, grief, and fear. And we know that the sensation occurs on the body, but it's felt by the mind. So what do we know about craving? That no amount of form, sound, smell, taste, tangibles, and mental object will ever satisfy an eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind for those who crave, because they are not craving for an object, but they are craving for a sensation of craving, the feeling of craving. And once this craving exists, it bounds us to samsara, continuous rebirth. Craving gives rise to clinging, upadana, getting attached, to clinging. What do we cling to? Cling to sensual pleasures or sense desires, cling to wrong views, wrong practices, rites and rituals, and cling to self or atta. This is the most harmful, because basically, who am I? And if I am not I, then who? If I don't have the self, then who am I? So let's take a look at that. So who am I? Basically, we are the manifestations, or anyone is a manifestation of his or her karmic forces, and the composition of nothing but ever-changing conflux of mind and body. And mind and body goes together basically like a stream, flowing stream, and the being, or mind and body, samsara, are all processions of events and utterly free from notion of a soul. So you won't find any soul in there. So clinging gives a rise to bhava, becoming, the step number 10. So basically, it's life will be, or life is a result of becoming us. What are we becoming? The past karmic processes. These are the active karmic processes. What we've done in the past, it will affect our present. And the second karma, past karma resultant process, which is in the now. This is a passive karma. Basically, what we do in the present moment is affected by our past, but it can create a change, or if we continue doing the blindfold stuff, affects our future and continues our rebirth to be present. So the next is our step number 11, birth, or jati, is basically the appearance of the 5 aggregates. It occurs in the mother wombs and not at the time of actual birth. And that is the karma, the cravings, clingings, volitions in the past, present at birth, and the cravings, clingings, act of will of the present birth will create or determine our future birth. So basically, the birth creates our identity. So our identity is being born, is identity, our aim for objects, events, and people around us. Craving energy is always transmuted into fresh life, and we live eternally through our lust to life. So what does it result in? Let me just show you in pictures. So birth, giving birth to desire, it will also come into an action, and the action will have a result, right? For example, here are the pictures, you can see that, and then it creates a new body with a new desire, and the entire process starts all over again. So where birth arise, give arise to aging or death, which is nothing else but change and disintegration, and change of disintegration of our world we created, of the world we perceived, and it creates suffering or dukkha. Or this is the foundation to our sadness, sorrow, depression, anguish, emotional breakdown. So is there a way out of here? So, first of all, we know that so long as a man attached to existence through his ignorance, craving and clinging, for him death is not the final end. He will continue his career of whirling along with the wheel of existence and will be twisted and torn between the spokes of agony. So now is the question to ask, if is there a way out? And yes, so the way out is knowing that nothing is permanent except change, and the active experiential practice of anicca, dukkha, and anatta is the way out. Thank you so much for listening, and metta for all of you. Thank you very much.